Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. Tonight, we give you a piece of breaking news. Omid Scobie again PRs for Meghan, but was blasted for too many lies. Early today, her biographer has claimed Meghan Markle is giving punchier speeches because she is not adhering to the constraints of royal life. Royal expert Omid Scobie, author of Finding Freedom, explained the Duchess of Sussex had more freedom to speak from the heart on topics including racial injustice and gender equality now that she is living in Los Angeles. He referred specifically to the Duchess of Sussex's recent address to the Girl Up Leadership Summit last week, for which she relied on loose bullet points rather than the structured speech usually given to members of the royal family for public engagement. Speaking on the AirPod podcast, he said, "This was Meghan really being able to talk without the constraints of some of the things you might have to bear in mind when writing a speech as a working member of the royal family." But in what capacity? Not royal? Now, although it is the royal connection that has given Markle her current global platform, is it in a political capacity or an evangelical one? Is she some sort of ambassador? Or is she on some sort of lone self-appointed superhero crusade with the Messiah syndrome? She was only a royal for less than 2 years. It is not as if being a royal stopped her from becoming a world-famous speaker. No one hired her to speak before she married Harry. No one even knew who Meghan Markle was before she married Harry. People are hiring her today because she is married to a royal. However, Mr. Scobie continued, "I understand she spent a long time preparing for this speech. Usually, we see members of the royal family reading from very tight scripts when they go up onto a stage. I understand Meghan had bullet points." He said that the royal was perhaps a little punchier than we've seen in the past, adding, "She spoke more from the heart than from a script." The royal expert continued, "I had an interesting conversation with Team Sussex after this happened. They said this speech really spoke to many of the issues she will continue to focus on passionately moving forward: gender inequality, racial injustice, youth empowerment. This worked a really great preview for the Duchess of Sussex and some of her future speaking engagements." But reporter Harriet Johnston from Daily Mail has blasted him for too many lies. She wrote, "Meghan is only tolerated at the moment for her novelty value. And this is purely down to her connection to the royal family. No one would give her an opportunity to speak if she wasn't married to Harry. So much for female empowerment. Her existence depends on her husband's name." She continues, "Even the place she is living in has been loaned to her by a man. It's all smoke and mirrors, no substance, just empty words and sound bites. A lot of the time, not even her own, but plagiarisms that she thinks makes her sound intelligent and meaningful. False and deceitful sums up every aspect of the Markle woman's life." When she and Harry did the speech last week, whilst still acting as Commonwealth presidents, they were acting for the crown and nation. In that speech, Harry apologized on behalf of us all for your you-know-what, and proceeded to lecture the young listeners on the fact we all need to make up for all the ills we and our ancestors have wreaked on everybody who is not why. It was deplorable of him and his wife to politicize their official patronage in that way, yet they were not sanctioned by the palace. This seemed to get the ball rolling for Markle to move on to her Girl Up speech, where she lectured the audience not to listen to the older generations, to demand change, not earn it, to force a new path rather than listen and debate, and to take what they want rather than negotiate and understand. It was anarchist rhetoric at its best. While this pair of lunatics are receiving 1 penny of public funding, and they still are, I will continue to object to them. Indeed, it seemed the shift in gears by Meghan Markle from Hollywood wannabe trying to indulge Brad Pitt for movie opportunities to social justice and feminist icon had gone down relatively well with the media, despite the Duchess of difficult plagiarizing content for her speeches. Of course, her fans have lapped it all up. We've seen speculation that Meghan would actually be entertaining the idea of a run at the White House. When Markle looks in the mirror and imagines herself as a social justice warrior for the masses, She probably dreams of being held in the same regard as the genuine activists and those who make a difference at the grassroots level of society. People like Jacinta Price, daughter of Bess Price, herself a lifelong social campaigner and politician. Jacinta Price has been fighting injustice her entire life. Growing up with a mother who went from experiencing domestic violence in her teens to working in education and as a consultant in cross-cultural awareness training. The Alice Springs counselor is well placed to know authenticity when she sees it. And she doesn't see it when she looks at Meghan Markle. Commenting on Meghan Markle and her recent involvement in the Black Lives Matter movement, Price said, "Black Lives Matter continues to push a false narrative. There are a lot of people with a lot of goodwill who think by jumping on the bandwagon they are supporting Aboriginal Australians, but they are doing the exact opposite." Taking aim directly at Meghan Markle, Jacinta continued, "Her lending her voice to the Black Lives Matter movement is silencing the voices of those people in the communities who are vulnerable to black-on-black crime." Price describes Meghan as a woman of great privilege who is completely removed from reality and circumstances on the ground. Honestly, did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry believe that they would be able to hijack social causes that are crucial to so many people without any backlash? Some people don't just sit in their multi-million-dollar mansions and talk about racial and societal injustice. They live it and have done throughout their lives. And by that, I don't mean crying about the British media being horrible while you spend over $500,000 of someone else's money on clothes. People like Jacinta Price have lived the type of life that Meghan Markle is preaching about in her Steve Jobs-inspired speeches. I have a feeling that Jacinta may be just the first of many authentic social justice campaigners who call out people like Meghan Markle on their privilege and question why they're using a very serious cause to further their own agenda. Indeed, many fans also slammed Omid Scobie, and both Meghan once said, "Oh, Omid, pray that those who would pay big bucks for Markle's future speeches don't find out that she couldn't even sell a book of her story for 20 quids. But hopefully, when they do find out, they would just get swept up in Meghan's positive energy, aka Meghan's delusions, and pay her big bucks to get engulfed in her positive energy." It's curious, though, Omid, that you left Harry's name out of the latest PR spin from you. A fan replied to this comment, "No, she is giving these speeches because she is using dimwits' defunct titles. Otherwise, no one would give her the time of day. Now she thinks she is above everyone else. Her words are listened to. Wrong. She is still a Z actress with a dipstick for a gopher of a husband." Another added, "If you had tried to find a worse title for this ridiculous book, I don't think you could have done it. Finding Freedom. A couple of months ago where you went on a massive multi-million-dollar shopping spree, outdoing every single European royal, including queens. The taxpayers picking up the bill. Making of a modern royal family. Is that what they call it? Running off to Hollywood to hustle a few billionaires while the taxpayers are still picking up bills? And now they're hoping those same taxpayers are going to pay even more money just to hear them simultaneously moan or brag about themselves. People say there's a difference between being mad or bad. I agree. These two have badness running right through every pore." And the last one wrote, "I really do not care what this woman has to say. She used one of the oldest tricks to marry above herself and get a platform, which her acting DD does not give her. Our royal family has served this country very well for a very long time, and she thought she could change it. Well, she couldn't, and we should be pleased about that. Yet her own actions belie her heartfelt words. Except for a handful of cherry-picked individuals, we're all subordinate to this woman who's full of self-consequence, but has never in her life achieved anything on her own merit." Last month, it emerged that Prince Harry and Meghan could earn more than £1 million each time they do a speech, after signing up with an elite agency. The Duke and Duchess have joined New York-based Harry Walker Agency, which represents the Obamas and the Clintons, and plans to be available for talks on social issues including racial justice, gender equality, the environment, and mental health, according to the LA Times. It is their first career move since leaving the royal family and moving to Los Angeles. Speaking could prove an extremely lucrative booking for the Duke and Duchess, who vowed to become financially independent from the royal family when they stepped back in January. And you? What do you think about this news tonight? Please tell me and let me know in the comment section below so we can discuss it together. If you prefer my video, remember to like and share it for anyone you think would also be interested. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more news from our team. Now, good night and see you tomorrow.
Meghan is creating protective armor for herself as she realizes the bricks are waiting for her. Meghan is compared to the appearance of a tabby cat. The appearance is also good looking. The face has plastic surgery, but the soul is poisonous of snakes. If there was a training course on surgery for Meghan's soul, it would be possible for many people to give her a bit of money to regain dignity. Gradually dying in the subconscious of the person who was cast. Meghan